Today, we're going to journey back more than 1,300 years to a single naval battle that is so important, but it's often completely overlooked. This is the incredible story of a fight that didn't just end a war, it literally redrew the map of East Asia and forged an entire maritime empire from sea and fire.
Just imagine the sheer terror in that moment. You're a general in what's supposed to be the most powerful navy in the world, the absolute pride of the Tang dynasty. And in a split second, you look around and all you can see is the enemy. This one desperate cry, probably from the deck of a burning ship, perfectly captures the chaos and the unbelievable turn of events at the Battle of Gibeolpo.
So our story is going to start right in the middle of that inferno. Let's dive into this sea of fire and see exactly how this single battle decided the fate of an entire kingdom. Okay, so what's the setup? The year is 676. For 7 incredibly long and brutal years, the Silla kingdom on the Korean peninsula has been locked in this fight for its life against the massive Tang Empire of China. Now, this isn't just another skirmish. This is it. This is the final winner-take-all showdown for control of the peninsula and the super important Yellow Sea. Everything, and I mean everything, comes down to this one day.
The two fleets facing off that day could not have been in more different situations. On one side, you've got Silla, fighting with that fierce, almost unbelievable determination of people defending their own homes, all led by a truly brilliant king. And on the other side, the Tang Navy. They're what's left of a huge invasion force. But now they're cornered, they're cut off from any escape, and they are getting desperate. They're like a rat caught in a trap. So how in the world does a smaller kingdom turn the tables on a superpower like Tang China? Well, they do it with this, the Hakikjin, or the crane wing formation. It is an absolute stroke of tactical genius from King Munmu. You basically spread your fleet out like the wings of a giant bird, inviting the enemy in, and then you fold those wings in and just crush them. And if that sounds familiar, it should. This is the exact same legendary tactic that the famous Admiral Yi Sun-sin would use with devastating effect almost 1,000 years later.
Let's break down how this brilliant move actually worked. So, step 1 is the lure. Silla's main fleet pretends to retreat, basically baiting the desperate Tang ships to chase them right into a trap, into a pre-planned kill zone. Then, step 2, the trap is sprung. The wings of the Silla fleet suddenly sweep around the sides, completely cutting off any chance of escape. And finally, step 3, annihilation. With the enemy totally surrounded, the Silla ships attack from every single direction at once, turning the sea into a nightmare of fire arrows and ramming attack. And the result? Oh, it was just complete and total devastation. The once invincible Tang Navy, the pride of an empire, was simply wiped off the map. Burned, sunk, gone. For the Silla kingdom, this was an absolute, undeniable victory. It ended the war in the most decisive way you could possibly imagine. But you know, the battle itself is really only half the story. The true meaning of this victory, what made it so important, wasn't revealed in the heat of the fight, but in the words of the king who planned it all. Just try to picture this scene. The sun is setting, the sky is probably the same color as the wreckage that's still smoldering out on the water. King Munmu is standing there on the shore, surrounded by his victorious but totally exhausted soldiers, and he explains to them what this was all really about. And this, right here, is the crucial part. King Munmu makes this victory about so much more than just survival. He tells his people, look, we weren't just defending a small piece of land. No, he says they were securing a future, a huge domain that included not just the land, but the endless sea itself as a home for all their descendants to come. You see, for King Munmu, this wasn't just about strategy or politics. It was a sacred promise. He makes this incredible vow that even after he dies, his spirit will become a great sea dragon to guard the very waters his people fought and bled to win. It's this immortal promise, forever tied to the sea itself. So you take that one massive victory, and you combine it with that incredibly powerful vision, and you get consequences that would ripple through history for centuries, literally giving birth to a new kind of empire. I mean, this battle caused a geopolitical earthquake. Look at this. Before Gibeolpo, the Tang dynasty had a major foothold right on the peninsula. After the battle, they're forced to pack up and withdraw completely. And Silla, they go from just fighting to survive to achieving total control of the Yellow Sea. The entire balance of power in the region just flipped on its head.
this whole new reality even gets a name: the Pan-Yellow Sea Empire. Now, this isn't an empire of land armies and conquest in the traditional sense. It's an empire built on controlling the seas, on naval power and trade. Silla's victory at Gibeolpo basically turned the Yellow Sea into a Silla highway, connecting the peninsula to the continent for trade and culture like never before.
And you can draw a direct line from this victory to what came next. In 676, Silla wins control of the seas. Then, about a century and a half later, this amazing figure known as the Sea King, Zhang Bogo, builds on that very foundation to completely dominate maritime trade all across East Asia. This sea power wasn't just for defense. It was the economic engine that paid for Silla's legendary golden age of culture. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all happened such a long time ago. But what is truly incredible is that this history isn't just something you read about in dusty old books. It left behind actual, tangible traces that you can still see today. The legacy of this battle is all around. You just have to know where to look for it. It's in a one-of-a-kind royal tomb, it's in the glittering treasures in museums, in the faint outlines of ancient villages on foreign soil, and even in a military strategy that's still studied to this day. So remember that vow King Munmu made to become a sea dragon? Well, he meant it, literally. His final resting place, a spot called Daewangam, is the world's only known underwater royal tomb. His ashes were scattered right on these rocks so he could fulfill that promise and forever guard the sea his kingdom had won. It's a breathtaking, physical reminder of his vision. And get this, Silla's influence didn't just stop at the water's edge. Because they controlled the sea, their merchants and people set up whole communities called Silla-Bang over on the Shandong Peninsula in China. What's amazing is that faint traces of these villages, these little outposts of a maritime empire, can still be found today. A quiet, powerful proof of Silla's presence on the continent.
And then, of course, there's the gold. All that wealth that came pouring into Silla because they dominated the sea trade, well, it fueled an absolute explosion of art and culture. So the next time you see one of those stunning golden crowns or intricate artifacts from the Silla Kingdom in a museum, you're looking at the direct result of the victory won at Gibeolpo. It's the beautiful, glittering payoff of sea power. So the story of Gibeolpo really shows us how a single day, a single battle, can completely change the course of history. It's a powerful reminder that history isn't just buried under the ground, it's also hidden right under the waves. Which really leaves you with a fascinating question, doesn't it? If history is written by the victors, and this is just one story that was almost lost, what other incredible sagas of bravery, of genius, and of vision are still out there, waiting silently in the deep?